Hey, making good people defenseless does not make bad people harmless. Gun control laws only disarm the law-abiding. And think about it, all the regulations and restrictions around firearms only make it harder for good people like you to defend themselves. Help us fight back and become a member of San Diego County Gun Owners. We make activism easy. So join today. Go to SDCGO.org/join and sign up and to become a member, because together we will win.
We will win. How's it going, Dave?
Great. Did you listen to Steve Cohen's show this morning?
No. Was it good?
Off the charts.
Yeah?
Yeah, off the charts.
Steve's the best.
Now he wants to do 2 hours. Now he wants to do this. He's so...
Is there a replay or something out there?
It's a podcast.
Okay.
Or I can have Brendan send it to your.
Okay. Was he on your show?
To your tent.
Or he had his own show?
No, it's his own show. No Bull Roadhouse.
No Bull Roadhouse. Yeah. So Steve Cohen. By the way, welcome, Alicia. How are you?
Welcome. Good. Thank you.
Yeah. And then Adam from USCCA.
What's going on? Good to be here.
Back again, huh?
So Steve Cohen was the station manager for KUSI for like 100 years.
And he's got 50 years under his belt as a journalist.
He's a good dude.
So
he's got his own show now.
He's so hooked.
Welcome, Steve. Congratulations, Steve Cohen.
Yeah.
When's he going to retire?
He's not.
He's not.
Ever?
We don't retire.
No.
Not at all.
Retire does not exist in this dojo.
No, it sure doesn't.
You know what I was thinking about? So I'm supposed to read a bunch of stuff about the gun show right now, but you know what I was thinking about?
You have the sniffles.
A little bit. I'm just getting over a cold. Yeah, but that's not what I was thinking about.
Oh.
I was thinking about how much crap have we taken from Arizona. You know, all these people, I'm moving to Arizona because California gun laws. I'm moving to Arizona. Arizona's where it's at. I'm moving to Arizona. Okay, well, fantastic. Now Arizona has an anti-gun senator. In fact, he heads an anti-gun organization. He's the head of an anti-gun organization. Their other senator, anti-gun. Their governor is anti-gun, recently vetoed some pro-gun legislation that the NRA backed. And in the last election, Arizona voted for Biden.
Huh. So is neener appropriate?
Listen, I got to tell you, Arizona, if you're listening, I look forward to helping you guys just as much as you helped us. So good luck.
By leaving.
Yeah, told you so. Here it comes.
That's where the neener comes.
Getting out of town is not going to help. It's just going to follow you. Yeah. We have to get organized. We are the country of the self-governed, and if we don't take that seriously, it's all going to go away. So anyway, congratulations, Arizona. San Diego Gun Show. Gun tickets for 2A movie night and classes. There's so much going on. Go to gunownersradio.com. I got to tell you, I thought the movie, the Second Amendment movie night, what is it, Blue Dusk?
Yes.
Yeah, because dusk is, I was calling it sunset, but I see Rich changed it to dusk, and he's right. That's technically the opposite. Yeah. Anyway, Blue Dusk, the movie, Wolverines. The tickets aren't flying off the shelves like we hoped. So everybody are not. So everybody, come see the movie with us.
I bought mine.
Good, thank you, Dave.
And by the way, did Tommy get in touch with you?
About what?
To promote the gun show?
Yeah. Well, no, not yet, but we will. So there's a lot of stuff going on at the movie though now. Not just a movie, but we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about it's actually okay. So Jamie Franks, who is he was, I forget which season of Top Shot he won, but he's a Top Shot winner. He's an instructor here locally for ASDS. He's going to come. He and I are huge Red Dawn fans. In fact, he's been on the radio a few years ago talking about Red Dawn. And I'm actually going to talk about some things. Even if you've seen Red Dawn before, I'm going to educate you on why Red Dawn is such an interesting movie and point out some things to look for that will maybe make it even more clear as to why it's such a good and interesting movie. So we'll give a little talk. We'll do a little dance. We'll get down that night. But you could win a few things, too. You could win just by buying a ticket and showing up. You could win a Mantis X10 Elite. You could win a GPS Tactical Range backpack worth $189. You could win a Prairie Fire pistol class. Prairie Fire used to be front sight.
Front side.
Yeah. You could win 1 free hour at Shore Shot in Oceanside, our buddy Phil. What a great dude.
Awesome place, too.
Yeah, right? Have you done it, Adam?
I have. Plenty of times, yeah. No.
Plenty of times? How'd you do?
I'm pretty good.
He hit the target.
I mean, I do.
That wasn't very convincing at all.
I mean, I have a little more experience. I've been in, real role playing with real people kind of scenarios. But no, it's an awesome place. Phil and those guys do such a good job. Phil's an amazing instructor. Definitely worth checking out.
It makes you feel realistic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Adam from USCCA, who is the title sponsor of the gun show and gun symposium this weekend. Thank you so much to Adam and USCCA for doing that. So what's like doing Phil's Shore Shot Simulator in Oceanside? What stuck out to you? Like, what did you enjoy most, or what was like, wow, this is the coolest part of this?
I think one of the biggest things is a lot of people want to get into self-defense and obviously concealed carry if you're going to carry a gun and everything. I think seeing and training with other people, though, too, people that see, even in a simulator, when your adrenaline jacks up and you're dealing with the kind of all those physiological responses and that kind of thing, that's an eye-opener for a lot of people. Yeah. That you got to manage that and deal with that, and that's a great training tool for that. Obviously, it doesn't, cover everything, but it's a great thing to be able to feel that without being like actually stabbed or shot or something,
That adrenaline.
But that adrenaline, all that kind of stuff, I mean, you get that even in the simulator.
A lot of people think that they're just going to get it, they're just going to magically be able to perform under stress when they do well in practice on the range. Well, it adds that element of adrenaline and seeing what you do with it.
Yeah, I think that's crucial. I had lunch with Coach from Tactical Hive yesterday. And one of the things I like to do, one of my new favorite things, Dave, is when I meet, especially a special operations guy, I ask him, when were you most afraid? What was the most scariest thing that happened to you? And I've probably asked, I don't know, I'm going to say maybe like 10 guys that. And the reason it's such an interesting question is not one of them has said anything about combat. Not one of them. It was like, well, they were shooting at me, or I was shooting at them, or there were guns, or none of it.
Ex-wives, mother-in-laws. That's what'll scare the snot out of you.
Yeah, exactly. It was interesting, but the thing that they all pretty much have in common is, well, first off, they're not. I think that my theory is they don't. It's not combat. It's never combat because they do so much training. And that, when it comes time, it's like
nature.
Yeah, they just focus in. And the things that are scary, the answers I've gotten, they're all like, oh, the first time and it was like some kind of training, whether they were like scuba diving or jumping out of a plane, or it was like their first time, or they that sort of thing, or there was a mess up and they didn't know how to handle it. That was the scariest thing. So I got to tell you, stuff like Shore Shot in Oceanside, any kind of training, but especially Shore Shot in Oceanside, extremely valuable. More things you can win by going to the movie. Tuffy portable safe, $109, and then if you go, let me see. Oh, so all the things I just mentioned, the Mantis, the GPS tactical range backpack, all those things that I just mentioned, Prairie Fire pistol class, those, you'll only have a chance to win those if you buy your movie tickets before February 27th, which is Tuesday.
And by the way, it was extremely easy to buy tickets.
If Dave is saying it was easy to buy tickets on the old internet,
that's right,
the interwebs, then it was easy.
You didn't have PayPal,
and it's only it's only $25. Right. It's super easy. Okay, if you show up, if you actually go, there's a Smith Wesson Shield with custom slide cut, +Porting, and Optic from 2C. .us worth about $1,200. How cool is that? That's our buddy 2. And then there's a Heritage Rough Rider 22 long, 2 free tickets to Gun Prom this year, and a couple other things. So go to gunownersradio.com, buy a movie ticket or 2, and then come see a movie with us on Saturday.
And you can also help volunteer. There's a couple of slots open for different positions. It'll tell you what's open, what's not, and it'll just help you get more involved with the Second Amendment.
It is, and if you don't have to go to the show to see the movie. If you only have time to go see the movie, that's fine. Right. But do us a solid and go buy a couple of tickets. Show. Well, we want you to.
That's where all the excitement is.
We want you to, but you don't have to. Just let you know.
But the symposiums and everything, it's going to be a phenomenal 2 days. Hey, gun owners, are you paying attention? Listen up. If you ever have legal matters that involve firearms, you need California's best firearms lawyer, and that means John Dillon. He can help you with red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you just need to know that your guns are California compliant. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws, So put his number on your phone right now, 760-642-7150. Go to the Gun Owners Symposium at the Gun Show to hear John Dillon talk on legal updates and 2A laws. That's John Dillon, California firearms lawyer, 760-642-7150.
Yeah, you know that Heritage Rough Rider pistol or revolver that you could win at the movie. It's a 22 long, but it comes with a 22 Magnum cylinder as well.
Oh.
How cool was that?
That's really cool.
You could, I guess you could conceal it, and then if the 6 rounds of 22 long don't do you, then you got all right, time to bring the Magnum in,
Those are fun to shoot too.
Okay. One of the cool things that's happening at the gun show is Derek LeBlanc. He's with Kids Safe Foundation. He's coming to San Diego. Derek, I think this is the first time you've done something in California. Am I right? Derek? Hello? Okay. There's no caller. Anyway, so what are you looking forward to most about the gun show, Adam?
I'm really looking forward to all the classes, throughout the day. Little mini classes, a bunch of our partners, instructors, and things like that.
Yeah. Wait, I think we got Derek now.
Cool.
Derek, you there?
I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. Okay, so you're with Kids Safe Foundation, and you're doing something really cool at our gun show, and we're so happy to have you. And I think this is the first time you've been able to do something in California. Is that accurate?
No, we've been to California a couple times.
Okay.
Typically, we're in Northern California near Anderson, but this is our first time in Southern California.
Oh, I guess that's what it is. First time in Southern California. Well, welcome. Talk a little bit about Kids Safe Foundation. What do you guys do? I know we've had you on the show, but for those who didn't hear, what do you guys do?
So the Kids Safe Foundation, we're a 501c3 nonprofit based in Eugene, Oregon, and so we do firearm safety and accident prevention to kids. And since our founding back in 2016, we've reached over 28,000 kids in 5 states and taught them life-saving skills. And what's really exciting about this upcoming weekend down there in San Diego is we're actually going to be bringing our BB gun range, which is it's basically an inflatable bouncy house. Some of the kids call it a bouncy house, but it's actually an educational range. And so we get to blow that up and actually get them shooting Red Ryder or BB guns in a safe environment.
Oh, really? It's a Red Ryder?
Yeah. So we have it's made by Daisy. It's one of their outdoor educational ranges, and so we blow it up, and then we have Red Ryders that we use to teach the kids how to shoot. That's how
I learned to shoot, on a Red Ryder.
Yeah.
I was 10. It was 1986. Yeah. And I was 10, and I got a Walter Payton jersey and a Red Ryder BB gun that year. It was a pretty good haul on that Christmas. Anyway, Red Ryder, man, that brings back memories. That's awesome. Okay, so if people come to the show and they bring their kids and they want to come do the BB gun blow up house, talk about it. What do they get? What do they do?
So basically, every kid that shows up, we do a little quick safety brief before they go on the range with us. So we're talking about the 4 basic safety rules if we're ever handling a gun. And then we put on safety glasses, we step inside the range, and then we set up we have a little target system inside there that we can roll it out. And depending on the size of the kid is how far we go out with the range, the target. And then they get to practice what they just learned with Red Ryder BB guns.
What if the kid is approximately my size? How long am I going to? What's the range there?
You're in luck. You're in luck. We have these custom-made Magpul Edition Red Ryders that I designed.
What?
And so they have an adjustable stock on them. They're great. I get to shoot them. You get to shoot them. 3-year-olds get to shoot them. We can totally modify the length of pole so everybody gets the opportunity to shoot with us. I
was such a deadeye with my Red Ryder. I remember it shot to the right. And I could totally compensate, and I knew exactly how much to the right it shot. And I was such a deadeye with that thing.
I had to cut 4 inches off my stock.
Really? Of your Red Ryder?
I was a little guy.
I was going to say that because the Red Ryders aren't huge.
I had to, because I couldn't shoot it. I had to take a hacksaw and cut it off.
Oh wow! But you had a Red Ryder.
Yep.
Yeah, that was. There was. I got to tell you, there was no frog was safe in Bay County, Florida, in the '80s, with me roaming around.
Yeah.
with being such a dead eye. So I shouldn't have done that. Poor frogs. Yeah. Adam, what did you learn on? What was your first gun of any kind, firearm or BB or whatever?
Pellet gun. One of the ones that you got to pump
Pump
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Pump pellet gun.
Nice.
You ever try to put your thumb over the barrel and stop the BB from coming out?
No.
No.
You never did that?
No. Why would I do that?
That really hurt.
That's why I wouldn't do that. Alicia, what about you? What was your first?
My first exposure was actually going out with my husband. And,
Oh, cool.
Oh, he got you hooked.
he put me in a 40. He started it, yeah.
There you go.
That's awesome. It was. I remember there was really only one rule back then. I don't remember all 4 rules.
There was a rule?
Well, it was treat every gun as if it's loaded.
Oh, yeah.
That was it. Like that was the rule. Like, hey, treat every gun as if it's loaded.
It really encompasses everything.
It kind of does, right?
It does.
And then in the 90s or 2000s, the other 2 appeared in my life, and then that 4th one, know your target and what's beyond, came around. But I think it's great. I think it's a very American thing. I've been in talks where we had people from foreign militaries, and they don't have the 4 rules, and it's a whole different experience. I got muzzled, and I'm like, wait a minute, we're gonna, and I've learned that those 4 rules are a very American thing. So
Yeah.
So Derek, what do you hope to accomplish with this? What's the goal?
Well, my goal is to go over 29,000 kids reached in 5 states, and my goal is to, get the kids of Southern California involved in the shooting sports and teach them that this is a completely safe and normal thing for us to do. And I just want to showcase responsible gun ownership. That's kind of our goal. And I have a symposium that I'll be giving, and so I have a couple classes as well that kids can get signed up and the families can get signed up as well. And so everything's about, the further preservation of our 2A rights is through proper education.
That's awesome. And you're giving a talk too, right, at the symposium?
I am, yep.
What can you give us a preview or give us a little taste of what you're going to be talking about?
Well, so I want to talk about where I started to get to where I am today, and also I want to talk about the future and how we involve the next generation to help defend and preserve our civil liberties.
That's very cool. Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Also, before we go any further, Wild Built Tactical out in La Mesa, Brian. Yeah, those guys sponsored the Kids Safe Foundation coming to Southern California. So please reach out and thank Wild Built. Brian, outstanding job. Thank you so much for sponsoring this. I think it's very, very cool that they stepped up and said, hey, you know what, this is important. I got to tell you, how hard is it? I mean, it seems, Derek, like people must love this goal. Like, even no matter who you are, whether you're way into guns or you're not into guns at all, I mean, how do you argue that this isn't a good idea? This seems like an outstanding thing. I can't imagine you get any resistance.
I think it's going to be a new challenge for us down in Southern California just because we're new to the area. I really, really appreciate Wild Bill stepping up and helping us and investing in their community. And so the goal is just to make sure that, we showcase that this is completely normal. This is something that we should encourage. We should encourage gun safety to children because that's going to help save lives, and it's going to kind of push back on the restrictions that you guys have down there. And we just want to normalize this conversation of gun safety with the kids, and it's completely normal, and it's something that should be celebrated instead of demonized.
It is. That's exactly right. I actually talk about that fairly often, especially in the seminars I give on how to get your CCW. A lot of these restrictive gun laws have made it weird, to own a gun and carry one for self-defense outside of your home for like a generation, in San Diego, maybe even a generation and a half. But, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s here in San Diego, it was not weird at all. 40-something other states, it's not weird at all. We're actually the weird ones, here in San Diego because so many of us have gotten to the age of, 40 and we've never touched a gun, or we don't have a CCW. We're odd. We're the odd man out. We're very, very strange. A culture, around gun safety and your ability to defend yourself doesn't exist because of the restrictive gun laws. That's odd. That's a strange thing that we treat it this way. So I like what you're saying about normalizing it.
One thing I will say is whenever we're in Northern California, when we're speaking with parents, the topic of gun safety is so foreign to you guys in California because, they're afraid of talking with their kids about their firearms because the gun they had 2 years ago might now be illegal because of a pen stroke. And so they're concerned about how, if they teach their kids gun safety, how it could get outside the home and where somebody else could get involved, which, so that's what's actually counterproductive to the safety of the kids is all these high rates of restriction. Well,
and the anti-gunners in California are vicious. They're absolutely vicious. They're unapologetically vicious with their extremism and zealotry. So I get why people are, it's not they're afraid. It's not the gun owners are afraid. We just don't want to deal with it. Just, hey, go live your life. I'll go live my life. So I totally get it. Now, when you talk about Northern California, where you teach, where exactly, what part of Northern California is kind of big? Whereabouts do you usually go in Northern California?
So near Anderson and Redding.
Oh, Redding, nice.
Yeah. So we've had our BB gun range there a couple times. This will be our first time actually teaching our kids firearm safety 1 class in the state of Oregon, so I'm really excited about that. And so in that class, we talk about firearms. I actually handle firearms and kind of demo them for the families so I can answer any kind of questions that they might have. We talk about online safety, video games, anti-bullying. So there's lots of things that we cover in this 1 hour class that's really going to be beneficial to the kids. Okay, what's your website, Derek? KidsSafeFoundation.org. There's 2 S's there. KidsSafeFoundation.org. And show Wild Built Tactical some love. Visit their table at the San Diego Gun Show. And go to their website, wbtguns.com, and just give them a special thanks. Derek, I'm looking forward to seeing you, and thank you so much for making the drive.
Hey, you want to learn to fly?
Yes.
Well, you need to get a pilot's license first.
All right.
And the way to do it is because San Diego is one of the best places to get your airplane pilot's license because pilots can fly almost every day. Learn to fly with San Diego Flight Training International. Gun owners, radio listeners, check this out. You get 1 hour of ground school, 1 hour of flight with an instructor, and yep, you get to fly. That's a $400 value, but our listeners will get it all for $350. Give them a call at 858-569-1822. Learn to fly with SDFTI. Call today, 858-569-1822.
So, Dave, do you remember last week we kicked off the show and you said, hey, I got a question. How come they're not pushing this Kansas City shooting, the one that in the Super Bowl celebration?
Right.
And I said, I think it's because the shooter doesn't fit the narrative. Mm-hmm. Remember we were talking about that?
I remember that.
So guess what?
Did they fit?
The shooter didn't fit the narrative. That's exactly why they're not talking about it. It was just it was basically gang violence.
Right. And that doesn't fit.
That doesn't fit.
Those are different.
The gun was also stolen too.
Oh,
stolen by an underage kid who was in a gang. Who committed this? It wasn't. Now my point is. So why does that matter, Mike? Right. My point in this thing is, they pad the numbers and they say, oh well, we're just going to talk about mass shootings. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, a disgruntled person with mental health issues going into whatever, a school, a theater, a church, shooting people because he wants to cause as much havoc and pain, and then probably kill himself, is a completely different solution. There's a completely different solution to that than gang violence. Yep. So if you have, a gang shooting at another gang, that is a completely different solution. Now, not if you're anti-gun, right? The solution is just, take the guns away.
Right.
It's the exact same solution. But you were saying, hey, how come they're not covering it? Well, I think it's because the shooter doesn't fit the narrative, and sure enough, they've come out that it doesn't fit the narrative at all. Stolen gun, underage kid, didn't just randomly start shooting. He was in some kind of disagreement with some other professional criminal, and that's why he did it. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, couple of things. So this is interesting. The county board has become a 3-2 anti-gun majority. And the county board, for those who don't know, it's like the city council for the county. So your city council, like if you live in Santee or El Cajon or San Diego, you have a city council that makes decisions about, how the money's spent, how your tax money's spent, roads and services, that sort of thing. So the county board covers the entire county. There's 5 districts, and there are 5 supervisors. 2 of them are on our side. Jim Desmond in the north and Joel Anderson in the east. 3 of them are absolutely not. Downtown would be Monica Montgomery Stepp, and then on the coast, kind of north coast, is Tara Lawson-Rammer, who is vehemently anti-gun. Like, it's not just a hobby for her. She's extremely anti-gun. Mm-hmm. And then down south is Nora Vargas. Now, here's something very interesting. There are stories she's being investigated because she was hiring somebody to come work for her office, somebody from Sacramento. And they said, okay, great, I'm going to come down. You know, I guess they decided to hire this person. Mm-hmm. They said, great, I'm going to come down. I'm going to, you know, buy a place or whatever, you know, rent a place. And it'll take me a couple of weeks. I got to wrap things up here, and then I'll be down there. She used a racial slur. He's Asian, mm-hmm. and I'm not going to say the racial slur, but it rhymes with ink. And, yeah. And I'm going, okay, this is clearly some kind of smear job. Like, I don't like Nora Vargas, mm-hmm. but nobody would be that stupid to just say that.
Why would she do that?
Well, I was kind of thinking, I was like, this is a non-story. This is going to go away. It's nothing. The guy's probably disgruntled. Maybe they decided not to give him the job. I don't know. But that is so cartoonish that I thought there's no way that's happening. Turns out her staff is turning against her and saying, yeah, that's the kind of person she is.
Ooh.
Can you believe that?
Sure.
Why can you believe it?
Not really. I mean, well, go ahead.
So you're saying that a politician is not a good person.
I knew that was coming.
Well, here's why. There's a couple of. So let me kind of. This is why it's so unreal to me. Maybe I'm just naive. You know, maybe I'm just a
naive
babe in the woods. I don't know, but
you are.
She is so high on her high horse. You know what I mean? Like, she is passes herself off as this, you know, morally superior person who's all inclusive, and you know, and here she is, like, using a racial slur I haven't heard since like the Reagan administration. Like, who's saying that? Like, who? It's unbelievable to me.
Well, my question is, why did she say it?
I guess she. Well, I think she said it because she's a horrible person.
But shocked.
I think what she's.
Wait a minute.
I have the exact quote and here in an article. If I don't know,
go for it.
How
don't.
How many words can I use? Because there's some asterisks in here. So
use your discretion.
So,
but,
basically, the context is like Mike had said that this person was hired and needed to relocate, and I guess it wasn't happening as fast as she wanted to be.
She just made a derogatory remark.
She did, and I mean, in the context of the article, it makes it sound like it was something said in jest, but still, in incredibly poor taste given.
Where did she say it? In public?
In front of. Go ahead.
She said it directly to him on a phone call. So 2 days after,
Yep. Could you imagine?
She phoned him inquiring about his efforts to relocate, where he explained he secured an apartment. It was then that he alleged that he heard the racial slur being uttered, and the statement was along the lines of a certain demographic of people, always so slow. Just keep it mellow, okay. And then that term was thrown out.
I wonder. Do you think she was trying to be hip? She's trying to, like, hey, look, I'm a hip racist.
Well, here's the other thing too. Like, she's also had a history of like helping like predators back in the day. I don't know if you remember. She was on the Southwestern Community College Board back in the day, yeah. And she was trying to help that professor who had pictures of nude students on there and all that stuff. And she still said, "Well, he's such a good employee for us and stuff like it's." Horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And yet she's still getting support to this day. I don't understand.
Could you imagine getting a job with an elected official who you've really never met before? Like, this guy's from Sacramento. He's not from San Diego.
Right.
It's not like he was getting a promotion and had worked with her.
And they had
before.
A relationship.
They had a relationship.
Right.
Like, basically pretty much a total stranger and soon to be his boss.
Him.
She picked him and then
busts out with that. Out of a lineup? I mean, she had to. And then she turns around and...
It's so interesting. The 3 people on that board, they're all high and mighty and talked about how, gun owners are such bad people. So she said this racial slur to somebody that she was hiring, who's now filed a lawsuit. Monica Montgomery Stepp has gone against her principles, and she's implementing a program in San Diego that will absolutely be used against black and brown men to make sure that there are more gun laws to arrest them, and which the exact definition of the institutional racism that she preaches to us about. And then the other one, Tara Lawson Raymer, helped appoint a guy who made some disparaging remarks about Israel and what happened in October, that horrible, incident. And her comment when I was sitting there, I was actually sitting there listening. Her comment was, "Hey, look, yeah, we're going to reappoint this guy to the Human Rights Commission, but you got to understand, a lot of people on the Human Rights Commission have said weird things, questionable things, I think she said, and so we're just going to get them some training, not so that they don't say horrible things or don't think horrible things and are horrible people, but so they don't say them publicly." That was her solution from the dais.
There you go. Okay.
And I'm going, well, I can't believe, but very few people are covering that, right? They're not up in arms.
No,
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, Nora Vargas, absolutely horrible person. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, number one, it's interesting, that these anti-gunners who are in office making decisions about your gun rights are, these pious, hypocrites. And number two, we just put a voter guide out.
Can I ask a question on the voter guide?
Yeah.
Because Brittany was going to notify you if she didn't
talk
already.
to her. Yeah.
Oh, you did talk to her?
About
the mayor.
So if there's nobody on if there's somebody you're like, hey, they don't have anybody listed, it means there's nobody worth voting for.
Well, I think there were other people listed, but she didn't. She was going to call you.
She was asking about who to vote for San Diego mayor.
Yeah.
Nobody. They're all horrible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's not a least bad. They're all horrible. So we said forget it. Anyway, extremely important. Get involved, vote, help us change the county. I mean, these things are happening right here in your backyard. The last day to vote is March 5th. So if you haven't gotten your ballot in the mail yet, go down to the Registrar of Voters office. You can vote there, but get your vote in. And then, of course, in November, we're going to have an even fuller voter guide. And it's important. And Tara Lawson Raymer, we got to make sure that she loses her job.
Works for me.
So that the other two will have zero control when it comes to the board. And I think that's important because, man, it's I'm not partisan. I don't like Republicans. I don't like Democrats. I think that the partisan politics has ruined a lot of things. I really am. I'm not a registered Republican.
What about no label?
Decline to state. Yeah, but if you go back 10 years or so, the Democrats said, "Hey, give us control of the city of San Diego. Give us control of the county of San Diego," and that's happened. The city council of San Diego is totally Democrat. Mm-hmm. There's a majority in the county, and I would argue the case is not made that they're doing a better job. Mm-mm. Is San Diego, the city of San Diego and the county of San Diego, are we better off now than we were 10 and 15 years ago? Absolutely not. Not even close. So we got to get involved. We got to get the right people elected. Right. There are 18 cities. We're going to have people in, I think, just about every city that we need to vote for and help. And then the county board, we proudly endorsed Kevin Faulkner,
right,
who's going to help us take back that board so that we don't have to put up with these anti-gun hypocrite, bigot, racists. And it's not even hyperbole, I mean, it's not even like I'm just throwing that out there. I'm giving you actual incidents that are being reported on in the news and I've witnessed. It's absolutely.
Don't use that word no more.
Which one?
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole? Why?
Yeah, because Pinhead uses it all the time.
Who's Pinhead?
Biden.
He uses hyperbole?
Well, I was surprised he could do it.
I'm surprised he knows what it means.
I thought you were going to call me Pinhead for a second.
That's what I thought. I did too.
Who, you?
Yeah, I thought you were going to call me Pinhead.
You're the farthest thing from a pinhead.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Trust me.
Hyperbole. I'm going to use it every segment.
I knew you would. I shouldn't even have said anything. Hey, Riverside, San Bernardino. Even the Bruin case, the gun grabbers are still getting even more desperate. Let's face it, all these laws disarm only the people that would use a gun to defend themselves. Fight back and do something to defend your school amendments Right. Join Inland Empire gun owners right now. We're growing the 2A community are getting more pro 2A officials elected. Membership is only $10 a month, and joining is easy. Just go to iegunowners.com/join.
So we have some bills. You guys want to hear about them?
We don't have to pay them, do we?
No. They're not those kind of bills.
Okay.
And they're not automobiles.
Oh,
They're bills that are going to turn into anti-gun laws. And they're pretty creative.
they are creative. I have to hand it to them.
I'm a little jealous of just how creative they are.
Yeah, they must have went to school.
But they're horrible.
Well, yeah, but they're creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know like years ago, it's like, you win a couple.
You lose a couple.
Well, you win a couple and people are like, all right, we're good. Nothing bad's ever going to happen again. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, I think something bad's going to happen again. Well, what? What could possibly? I don't know, but they'll think of it.
Yeah, and it's always worse.
It's never better.
They figured. I mean, I have to agree with you. They have got some really smart people, trying to take away our guns.
But they're the other side of that is they're grasping at straws.
What? What's the old adage? Throw enough against the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah. So the first one I'm going to talk about
to say it.
is insurance, homeowners, renters insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're forcing the insurance companies in California. If you get your homeowners or renters insurance, they're forcing the insurance companies to list all your guns and how they're stored in your home. That's what has to go on your application.
I haven't had to do that yet.
And the funny thing, well, it hasn't. It's still a bill. It hasn't passed.
Oh.
The funny thing is they're saying, well, gee, we're supporting the insurance companies. That's kind of the narrative, like, well, we got insurance companies need this. The insurance companies don't need a bill. They don't need a law to change their application.
No.
If the insurance companies wanted to do this, they would just do it. They don't have to. So, this is being mandated. The other part of it is it's kind of a roundabout registry because all this information gets sent to California DOJ. So it's not like it just sits there in the file. The California DOJ gets their gun, all of your guns, if you have, homeowners or renters, which, who doesn't have homeowners or renters in California, right? I mean, you pretty much have to, especially if you're a gun owner. So that's bill number 1. Isn't that nice?
Oh, yeah.
Something new, something fresh?
AB 3067 if you want to follow it.
Yeah.
Thank you. AB 3067. I'm like the worst. I can't remember numbers at all.
I know you're not. We can't remember names either. But have you ever got your driver's license that you could renew it without having to go to DMV? You just get it by mail?
Yeah. I had to go this last time, though, about a month ago.
Yeah, but you should see, my wife just got hers, and she goes, I'm not filling this out.
Why?
I go, what do you mean?
What is it?
Just look what it says. It asks about what your vote, how you're going to vote, what party, and if you don't.
You can register. You can re-register, motor voter.
Yeah, but it says if you don't, then you can't do this and you can't do that. And then it just asked a lot of really, very, weird questions.
Yeah,
just
intrusive.
to get a driver's license.
Well, okay, so that's number 1 bill.
Okay,
number 2 bill is
digress.
that's the workaround. That's the kind of roundabout way to create a registration, a gun registration. The other one is an actual registration bill. They're actually going to force you to register all your guns annually and pay a fee.
Right.
Every single year.
And you don't know what the fee is.
They won't tell you what the fee
Not
is,
yet.
but they do have a way. They've spelled out how they can raise the fee.
Mm-hmm.
They basically say, look, the fee, it's a fee, not a tax, so it can only cover expenses. And if we need to raise it, we'll raise it.
Right.
Isn't that nice of them?
Of course. Again, they're going to do whatever they can. And, well, again, it's throwing stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
And looking back at the insurance, the first one that you mentioned, the 3067, there's 3 different points. I got it right here in front of me.
Go for it.
3 different questions that they're asking for the insurance companies to collect. And one of them, if you know anything about criminal storage, right there, they're going to have all the info they need if they want to come after you for criminal storage. Because number 3, that's really what they're getting at.
So just plead the 5th. You could just write, I plead the 5th.
I mean, they're asking for number of firearms kept in a vehicle, located on the property subject to the applicable insurance policy, and, if any, whether they are stored securely in a locked container while not in use. So transport laws and safe storage laws, if you don't answer that right, you've just admitted to violating.
Right. Well, the registration bill, which if you can look up that,
I do have it right here.
The registration bill
that was 1160. I remember that.
So the money they're raising, you know what they're spending it on?
Anti-gun.
No, they're spending it on that program.
Oh,
that's it. Like there's no, like they're like, look, we need to tax your guns so we can pay for this program that taxes your guns. Like that's it. It's just this big circle. Like there's not like a need. There's nothing there. They're not like, hey, look. So what I'm saying is, hey, we need to tax, so that we can fill potholes, right? We got to tax your gas.
Yeah, that's going well too.
Yeah, I know, right? So, but at least there's a reason. They're like, look, we're going to tax your gas, and then we're going to use some of that money to fill potholes. So at least there's like a reason, right? With this, there's no reason. It's just, hey, this program, we got to put this program in place so we can raise money for this program we put in place.
Is there somebody like running it that makes $500,000 a year or something, like salary, like some of those ridiculous ones you see?
We have, the one behind it is Senator Portantino.
He's horribly anti-gun. Mm-hmm. So now this violates federal law. There is actually a federal law that is back in the 80s, Reagan signed a law that said it's the Firearms Owners Protection Act, something like that, where you can't have a registry. You can't have a registry. So in this bill, I'm paraphrasing, but I swear it's not hyperbole, Dave. I swear it basically says this isn't a registry, okay? But we need to register your guns so that we have this registry. It's basically saying, but it's not a registry. We're not going to use it as a registry.
Right.
This registry that we're doing.
But
yeah.
It's a registry.
I mean, I don't understand how. I don't understand
how stupid they think we are.
Here's verbatim what they have in the bill. It says, this is an important tool to remind all citizens of their civic responsibility that comes with owning a firearm. So every time you pay that bill, you're going to be reminded of how responsible you need to be.
Well, I got to tell you, I think it is a civic responsibility to own a gun.
Oh, absolutely. Do you need a fee to remind you of that?
Have to pay every month or every year.
So I'll tell you what. Why don't we start taxing people that don't own guns? I mean, they're not fulfilling their civic obligation.
Or sue them.
Right? In fact, that's what we should do. We should tax people who don't own guns to fund this registration, since they're not fulfilling their civic duty.
For you.
This all going to be like, and that's the other thing. All these things, any bill they pass is 10 years and $1 million. That's what it takes to kill it in court. So anyway, those are the two bills, Dave. What do you think? Wait, there's a third one. What's the third one? There's a third bill. Great, Mike. Way to prepare.
Yeah, really. You're on top of it. Who's our producer? You can only blame it on something
Safe Hand. Okay, so the other one is they all kind of tie together, right? You have the insurance company that creates a registry, the registry that creates a registry that makes you tell how you're storing your guns, or the insurance how to store your guns, and then there's actually a gun storage law that they're trying to pass. It's basically identical to the one they passed in like Encinitas and Del Mar. They tried to pass it in La Mesa. They passed it in San Diego, and if you're not physically touching your gun, it has to be locked or inoperable. Has nothing to do with kids. If you have kids, no kid can have access to your gun. Period.
Or a prohibited person. And that's already a law.
It's already a law in California. So if you have kids, you can't leave your gun on the nightstand, according to California.
Not only if you have kids or prohibited persons that come into your home for any reason. They don't even have to be yours.
Right. Grandkids that come regularly.
Right.
Kids cannot have access to firearms. Boom, period. No wiggle room.
Already
it's not a gray area, already a law. So this doesn't affect that at all. This doesn't make kids more safe. It doesn't have anything to do with people with kids. It's not going to save kids' lives, nothing like that. This is for like single women who need to defend themselves because they live alone. They're no longer going to be able to have their gun on the nightstand or on the dresser or whatever when they're taking a shower or whatever. So those are the three big bills that are happening, three anti-gun bills that are happening.
Here in California?
Here in California. If they pass, and they're probably going to change a little bit. They're going to go through different committees. They're going to say, hey, we're going to add this or subtract that or rewrite this section or whatever. And then they'll vote in like August, I'm guessing. And then they'll pass and they'll go into effect January 1st. We'll lawyer up. We'll have to sue, hopefully. We'll hopefully get an injunction. It's this whole, kabuki theater. It's whole song and dance.
That it is.
Adam, you're shaking your head. This doesn't make you happy?
It's just one of the things. So for me, one of the cool things that I get, what I do is meet a lot of people. And I hear a lot of people's stories and things like that. And I think literally last week, I was up at North County Shooting Center. Shout out North County Shooting Center. Actually, at your guys stopping by the tabletop, and I was heading in.
Oh, yeah.
And I happened to be kind of standing there, and a girl walks up with her friend and her friend's kid. And they were coming to a range and store for the first time, and I happened to just start talking to her. She said, yeah, she goes, I have actually like an active stalker right now. And she said even law enforcement said I should get a gun to protect myself. So that's one example. But, you know, I mean, everything you're saying, all that does is hurt people like that.
I was surprised. When we first got CCWs issued in San Diego and we started teaching the classes, I really honestly thought it was just going to be a bunch of gun guys learning how to get their CCW. I was really, and continue to be surprised at how many, women who have stalkers, pull me aside after a seminar and they're like, hey, I got to talk to you about something specific. I was really surprised. I guess I shouldn't be.
But the government doesn't want to hear those stories.
Nope.
Of course not.
Well, not only do they not want to hear, but the elected officials would try to make the argument that she shouldn't be able to have a gun, that she's less safe when she's able to defend herself.
By the way, that third one you were talking about is SB 53, and in addition to having to have it unloaded, locked, and stored, it has to be in a DOJ-approved lockbox. So you got to replace, if you don't have a DOJ-approved storage situation, you'll have to be investing some money if this passes.
It's only money. Hey, you need to help the Orange County gun owners get the right people elected in Orange County. People will stand up and protect your gun rights. How do you do it? By becoming a member today. Go to OCGunOwners.com/join. Now is the time to join the growing number of gun owners who care and want to protect our Second Amendment rights. Go to OCGunOwners.com/join and become a member today.
All right, winners, prizes, and events. Subscribe and win. Subscribe to our email list and win some swag. This week's winner is Greg Tipton. Congratulations, Greg. Please email us at prizes@gunownersradio.com to claim your T-shirt or your hat. And let us know what size T-shirt you want. Congratulations, Greg. If you want to win, all you got to do is go to gunownersradio.com, sign up for our newsletter, our email, and you might win some cool swag. All right, so we're talking about the gun show. Let's talk about a couple of the cool things. Again, we have Adam here from USCCA. You guys are the title sponsor. Why was it important for you guys to be the title sponsor?
Well, I mean, Mike, we've been working together for a long time, known each other for a long time, and I try to be, really involved in San Diego and the community and everything like that. And obviously, USCCA's training and education's one of the main things that the organization does. And so, especially when I heard that we're doing all these mini classes, all this kind of educational stuff like that. Almost everybody there is a partner with USCCA already. And, just to support all that stuff in the community and get people more training and education.
Adam, I do really like USCCA. You guys are really good at building a community. I think that's extremely commendable. Your product is important.
Absolutely.
If I tell people at the CCW seminars, I tell them first off, I say, hey, look, if 6 months from now you get your permit and you carry for the next 30 years, how many times are you going to pull from concealment and have to get shots on target to save your life? Probably never. Probably statistically, probably never, right? But if you do, if you've made the decision that, hey, that's a real possibility, I got to get my CCW, then it's the exact same, possibility that you're going to need USCCA. You're going to need an attorney to bail you out. You're going to need an attorney to, get you through the case. So you just can't. I mean, I know it's not just for people with CCWs, but if you have a CCW and you don't have USCCA, I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, I mean, you've seen it even getting, and I see it too, out in the field, if you will, the people that then have something happen, and it's kind of like, oh crap, what do I do now? I know you got the ones recently that hit you up.
Yeah, it is. You guys have some success stories. Like, hey, this happened to me. USCCA took good care of me, and it's a big success story. We have a couple of stories coming up in the next couple months that are not success stories because they didn't have USCCA.
Well, do you have to have a concealed carry permit?
No, absolutely not.
To buy from you?
Not at all.
No, they're not even firearm specific. They're self-defense.
But see, a lot of people that I talk to about it, They think, well, I haven't got a CCW.
No, don't need a CCW. I mean, especially if you got a firearm in your house, or I mean, I've seen cases and incidents come through that are not even gun related. I think we talked about last time I was on about the knife incident.
Right.
You know, so it doesn't have to be even a gun.
What's the average cost a month?
$30 to $50.
Really?
That's it.
I got the $50 one.
I'm paying $79 for my refrigerator.
Well, the cool thing too
tells you
I don't know what
tells you everything.
The cool thing about that too, though, even the cost of the membership, you have the legal side of it, but there's also you're getting a lot of benefit in the meantime. All the training side and education stuff you can utilize,
right?
Ideally, help you keep you out of trouble.
Well, yeah,
in the first
of course,
place, you know.
But there are two. We're going to interview two people coming up here in the next couple months who did not have USCCA. They were both involved in a defensive gun use situation. Neither one of them even pulled the trigger or had to pull the trigger. They just had to show the fact they had a gun, and it stopped the incident. Both of them had to pay thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Now, is that a package deal? Like if you buy it, can you get a family pack?
So the membership, the primary one, you can add your spouse for half price, and they actually get the full benefit then of everything with the membership as well.
So say 50 plus 25?
Yes,
exactly. Somewhere in that area.
Yeah. And then the nice thing, though, too, even with the membership, the primary member has their family even covered in the household. So even if you, as the member, weren't home, God forbid something happened in your home, your family's even covered. But you can add spouses for half the price, and then they get the full benefit of it.
How much for my Rottweiler? Can I get a discount?
Can you conceal that thing?
There's no way.
That'd be tough.
So we're going to talk to Adam more in the next segment
that was
here.
A no?
No.
Oh, I was just checking.
San Diego Gun Show, March 2nd and 3rd. That's this weekend. This coming up weekend, a week from now. Tickets are on sale. There's so much to see and do, especially Second Amendment movie night. So get your tickets by February 27th, and you can win some awesome prizes. Sign up to donate some blood. I'm donating a couple of units of blood, I think at noon. Lots of vendors. We're going to have over 100 vendors. We're going to have 10 plus, at least 10, might be more, but 10 tables of guns. Lots of really cool vendors. All kinds of cool things. If you donate blood, you're going to get a really cool goodie bag that a bunch of our vendors have thrown stuff in for our goodie bag, so that's kind of cool.
And a Band-Aid.
And a Band-Aid. You'll get a Band-Aid. So go to get your tickets. GunOwnersRadio.com/gun show.
It's real easy, folks. Trust me.
Yeah. If Dave can do it.
If I can do it, you can do it.
We want you to, here's what we want you to do. Buy tickets to the show.
Yep. And the movie.
Sign up. I'm getting there. Sign up for a class. Buy tickets to the movie. And sign up to donate blood.
And volunteer.
And possibly volunteer.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole day right there.
It's a great day. Yeah.
Well, you're going to be there all day anyway. It might as well be worthwhile.
That's it.
And you get a burger too.
What?
Is there a beer garden too, right?
There's a beer garden. Yeah.
And do the beer before you give the blood.
I didn't think about that.
Make it worthwhile. You get your tickets yet?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
All right, more giveaways. Prize drawing at Gun Show. Enter to win at the symposium, the SDCGO table, or movie night. You can only enter at the Gun Show. So we're having a really cool raffle. There's actually a couple, but one is for Not Me, to support Not Me California, our 501c3.
Right.
Thanks to our good buddy Russ, who's just the most awesomest guy that's ever walked the planet. You can buy a ticket for $50, and you will get a chance at winning one of 10 ARs. We're going to pick 10 winners, and you could win one of 10 ARs. I suppose if you buy a couple of tickets, you might win more than one. Ruger American 300 Blackout bolt-action rifle. That's if you come to the movie. You could win that. The Mantis Blackbeard Prairie Fire Carbine class. Carbine? Dave?
Carbine.
Adam?
I say carbine.
All right, carbine.
Where's Sam?
Later.
We'll have to ask him.
And the Mantis Blackbeard, for anybody who doesn't know, that's your AR training system.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a $350 value.
Yep.
Right.
Condor has stepped up. Condor has given us a multi-cam Prime Pack 21L backpack worth $120. And then also up for grabs 2 tickets to Gun Prom, which I think we're about a month away from talking about Gun Prom, by the way. It's coming along nicely. But don't take your eye off the ball, Dave.
What are we gonna do?
Don't take your eye off the ball. It's all about the gun show right now. It's at the Omni in Carlsbad.
Why don't we go to the Legacy?
We are for the gun show this weekend.
Are you going to be there?
Good transition. I'm definitely going to be. I'm going to be there all weekend. Except I got to do this radio show on Sunday.
Did you get a room? Did you get a room?
I didn't get a room.
You going to sleep in the parking lot?
I'm gonna set up a tent.
You should.
I'm gonna set up a tent. We should have like a gun show slumber party. That'd be cool.
Bivouac.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna be playing Red Dawn.
I know, right? That'd be cool.
Well, I'm not supposed to.
Hey.
Not Me is for women, by women, and is designed to help women with training, purchasing a gun, and getting a concealed carry permit. Hey, guess what? It's totally free. If you're a woman or you know a woman who needs help, have her sign up, and we will give her the help she needs. To sign up, just go to notmesd.org or come to the gun show this weekend.
So, Adam, one of my favorite speakers, you guys have helped us. You actually introduced me to Gary.
Yeah.
He's such a good dude. He was coming to our meetings, and he did our shooting socials. But, we have so many members. Sometimes I just can't, I can't meet everybody in depth. And you had such good things to say about Gary Gibson that we took the time and met him, and he's been absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, even how I met him too. So I met him actually in a CCW class. He was renewing his permit, and he had been a member of USCCA for years, just on his own. And we started talking during the break, and he was kind of sharing some info with us about some cases. And because the first time I met him, I didn't know his resume. I'm kind of picking up that he has a lot of experience, and I was like, Gary, why aren't you one of our attorneys in the network? Because USCCA has a network of attorneys throughout the country. And he said, yeah, I don't know. Send me the paperwork, and I did. And he took 5 minutes to vet him because his resume is amazing.
Dude's a pit bull.
He's amazing as an attorney.
He's absolutely is amazing. He's a really good dude. So he is one of the speakers. At the symposium that USCCA is sponsoring the gun show this weekend. Again, thank you so much. Can't say thanks enough.
Well, yeah, I wanted to get him, just as opposed to, one of us kind of talking as a bonus, because he has handled, as you guys know, he's handled cases even from USCCA where he's been paid by USCCA because, thankfully the person was a member and it was covered. He's the other side of it too, where they, got it after the fact. But that's why I thought it would add a little more kind of realness to the talk and everything.
A little juice, a little spice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to get spicy. What's he going to talk about? Do you have any? Can you give us a preview?
Yeah, so I know he always has a really cool presentation, but talking a little bit about some of the cases and how he approaches, self-defense cases, and it's really cool when you see it firsthand from a defense attorney that's defending someone who defended themselves. Mm-hmm. So he can show you, real case examples that happened here in San Diego. What happened, what he did. I think he's won every one of them, which is awesome. And then his perspective as well on what you should do if you are in a defensive incident.
And he's responsible for people kept coming up to me and saying, "Hey, Gary Gibson's got this case. This guy, had a gun. He's CCW holder, and he's having a real difficult time." And I'm going, yeah, he's going to have a difficult time in California. I didn't know the specifics of the case. We had Gary come talk about the case specifically, and it was a soup sandwich. I could not believe. So we met with the DA, Gary and I both, and talked to them about the case and how basically the CCW guy shouldn't have been treated the way he was treated is really what it boils down to. He was defending himself. And the district attorney, Summer Stephan, said, you know what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this pilot program. If you are a CCW holder and you're involved in a defensive gun use situation, you're going to get investigated by the same unit that investigates cops when there's a cop shooting. And we thought, okay, well, that's good. Because it was clear that the junior DA and whoever investigated the case just didn't understand defensive gun use law. That's where things got all wrapped around the action.
Honestly, because one of the cool things, I actually watched a lot of that trial because that did go to a full trial, and I'm kind of a nerd with some of that stuff, so I was watching it. And the other thing too, that DA honestly had no idea what he was talking about, even with firearms.
Yeah, he had absolutely no idea. That's not hyperbole.
Not at all.
He really, truly had no idea what he was talking about. It was, which, I don't know, on the one hand, you know, okay, every attorney in the world can't know everything about everything.
Right.
Number one. But number two, you know, you're about to ruin somebody's life.
Well, I mean,
get an expert in there.
That, and when you, like you said, when you look at the case, you know, you got the guy, the attacker, who's obviously a complete dirtbag, and the other guy who's with his wife, who's a obviously upstanding, you know, citizen, military vet, even all the above, you know, really good dude. Exactly what you said. Like, why are we putting this guy through this? So
that pilot program happened, and then a couple months ago, another defensive gun use happened, the CCW holder was getting put through the ringer, and they were saved by the pilot program. So it worked. It was really, really, really perfect. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have that guy come on. He didn't have USCCA. If he'd had USCCA, he would have spent, whatever, $30, $40 a month, and that would have been that. Instead, he spent tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Was it that much? Do you know? Anyway, thousands at least.
At least 10.
So Gary's going to talk about. I think that's great. Do not miss Gary's talk.
No, absolutely. Besides the information, he's extremely entertaining to listen to, and makes it fun as well. And like I said, you're getting, you know, real information of how stuff has happened here in town.
I hope he's listening. Think Gary's listening?
Hope so.
Yeah, dude's a superstar. Okay, so we're gonna have Gary. We're gonna have all kinds of in-person classes. So there's two components here. There's the symposium where you're going to get to listen to people for free, and they're going to give lectures on whatever they're an expert on. And then there are classes that you can pay for. For example, the Red Cross CPR AED class, where you can actually get certified to be a CPR person. What do you call that, Alicia?
CPR certified.
CPR certified. Yeah. Stop the bleed classes, how to build a med kit, handgun mastery, dry fire, how to draw from a holster. Real estate safety, real estate agent safety is super important. You know, it's funny, a lot of the real estate folks that I know, the trade magazines that are generated outside of the state talk about guns, CCWs, and self-defense pretty regularly. California, they don't talk about it at all.
Well, that's actually a USCCA course. That's kind of what's cool with the USCCA, kind of being modern and staying up with everything. They developed that course specifically for people in real estate because, you know, if you look at it, statistically it's actually a dangerous job.
Yeah,
a lot of our victims of crime, you know, because it's easy if you're a criminal, think like a criminal, right? You got a real estate agent by themselves.
Yeah, I'm a woman. I'm all dressed up.
Exactly.
I'm going to go sit in a house alone, and I'm going to invite the entire world to come see me in this house.
Exactly.
When I got my permit, the clerk that I worked with, it was just, we were just kind of just conversing, having discussion, and she told me that the top three professions of people at this time, this was before Bruin and everything, top three professions of people coming to get their CCWs, real estate, doctors, and lawyers.
Yeah. So the real estate, you know, we were arguing with the previous sheriffs a lot, you know, like, hey, look, we want to make this change so that you can start issuing. The thing that really broke it open were female realtors. That's what really broke it. He kind of, I don't know how to put it. He did a great job, so I certainly don't want to say anything bad because he came around, and I'm so thankful. But I think that was kind of that was kind of the foot in the door. Like, he didn't really have a defense. Like, hey, why don't you want a female realtor to be able to defend herself? And that's what really broke open CCWs in San Diego.
Well, and when I said last segment too about, you know, meet and hear a lot of stories, I can't tell you how many realtors I met, and especially women that had, you know, thankfully they're okay, but had really close calls with, you know, dangerous situations doing that work.
Women live in a completely different world. I've definitely learned that from the women I know in my life. They do not live, you know, you're a big guy. I wouldn't mess with you, you know, at all on any level.
Alicia would. She'd take him out.
Alicia would probably win too. That's a whole different.
She'd take him out. He wouldn't have a prayer.
You know, I got to tell you, the world that women live in is a completely and totally different world than the world that men live in. Even men that aren't as enormously intimidating as Adam. But in all seriousness, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all that you know, realtors and, you know, doctors and lawyers, it makes a whole lot of sense. So if you know any realtors, real estate agent safety is happening at the gun show, and that is a USCCA curriculum. Who's teaching? You know who's teaching?
Yeah, so Personal Protection Academy. You guys know Aaron and Mike Pettingill.
Oh my gosh, love Mike Pettingill.
Yeah, they'll be doing a bunch of those classes, like all the medical type classes. Is Aaron? She's a trauma nurse, crazy resume as well in what she does. She's an amazing instructor too. And then Michael, I think we're doing a lot of the kind of firearms classes in that too. Shout out real quick. I'll plug that too. They actually, if you guys didn't know, they just opened a physical location up in Murrieta, which is awesome.
Grand opening.
Just was there last night for their grand opening. It's really, really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That went well?
Great.
I know Inland Empire Gun Owners, we promoted it on social media, so I'm glad it went well.
Yeah, it was great.
So any special promotions at the USCCA table for gun show attendees?
We'll have a lot of info there, different things for classes and whatnot and training. And then anybody signing up, we always have a nice little training kit people can actually take home, help you practice and get better and everything like that. And a bunch of us will be there, from USCCA all weekend to answer any questions and help and everything like that.
You're going to sign people up as well?
Absolutely.
It is. I mean, I really do like the fact, because you guys, it's owned by Delta Defense, which is an insurance company.
No, not technically.
No, that's not. Okay.
No,
so you're wrong.
I totally messed up.
You're totally screwed up.
All right, let's go to commercial. No. So
Delta Defense is
what's the hyperbole?
Delta Defense LLC, the company that basically is a service provider to the organization.
okay, they're the service provider. I get really all I was going is I like the fact that USCCA is. It's not like this is their business. This is what they do. It's not like it's ABC Insurance Company who's offering. This is their 175th product. And you got
like a bank.
Yeah, so they really are gun folks. In fact, USCCA is. I know they started talking a couple years ago about endorsing candidates and actually getting involved in politics and that sort of thing. They started out as a gun magazine. Mm-hmm. They're legitimate gun folk, which I really, really like. It makes it's a lot more. I don't know how else to put it. It's a lot more comfortable, rather than going to, like I said, XYZ Insurance, and here's our gun guy. It's actually a company that's dedicated to the Second Amendment and shooters and
what I really appreciate is because gun laws are ever changing, right? They are, with Delta Defense being the core, a big part of what they are. In addition to the training, is I trust their information they put out. I trust the reciprocity map. I trust all the legal information to be up to date and current for all the places that people travel and go, even those without a permit. Dave,
are they as quick as you?
Quicker.
Yeah, it's a cool resource, like Alicia's saying. That they literally have teams back there in Wisconsin that work daily, keeping track of the laws. You go uscca.com/laws. You can keep up and look at all the laws and rules for every state. The app, even on your phone, we got an app for that.
They're headquartered in Wisconsin. Where are they? Like Wausau or Menominee?
West Bend.
West Bend. I don't know where that is, but that's the only. That's like the only Wisconsin town name that sounds normal.
It was like about 40 minutes north of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Cool.
Here.
Anyway, thank you so much. We're going to keep talking to you, of course. Yeah. We got a whole bunch more to say, but I'm just so grateful. This gun show is something that Rich is working so hard on, and there's a vision. We really want to make this thing special and neat and cool and a destination and useful and fun, and we couldn't do it without guys like USCCA supporting us.
Hey, do you belong to a member-based organization with a bad website? Oh. Well, it looks old. It's hard to use, and it just doesn't help your organization grow. Well, maybe you didn't know, but Sage Tree specializes in helping member-based organizations. They helped SDCGO and have also helped other companies like the YMCA, National City Chamber of Commerce, and a whole lot more. They can help with your website, too. Membership dues and emails and social media. Leave frustration behind and call Sage Tree today. Getting started is easy. Just visit sagetree.com and click on the Schedule an Appointment button. That's sagetree.com and click on that Schedule an Appointment button now.
Yeah, go to SDCGO.org. Check out our website. We actually get a lot of compliments on our website, how good it looks and how useful it is. And Sage Tree just redid our website. So if you like our website even a little, contact Sage Tree because they treat us so well. Then Rich is just a great all-around dude. So we had a lot going on. Last week we had the monthly meetings. We had North County Shooting Center. That same night we had a CCW seminar at Discount Gun Mart. But that was Tuesday. And Dane White. Do you know Dane?
I don't.
Dane's the mayor of Escondido. So you guys want to hear another political story, a local political story?
Of course.
So
is it a good one?
Well,
Probably not.
It's a confirming
Is
one.
it funny?
I think it's funny.
Okay. Well, if it's funny.
Dane White is an awesome dude. He's been a member of San Diego County Gun Owners. We endorsed him when he was on the school board, or I'm sorry, school board.
He was funny.
Yeah, and then he ran for mayor of Escondido, and he's like the youngest mayor ever, and he's a good dude. And he when I was there for the county when they were doing their thing, he showed up because Tara Lawson-Remer is looking to put a big, huge homeless shelter right in the middle of Escondido, and didn't bother to talk to Escondido. Just said, "Here's we're doing it." So he didn't find out till like the day before. He's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" You know. So he comes down to talk, and he introduced himself very professionally. Said, "Hey, you know, we're actually working on this already. We're working on shelters. We're trying to handle this." You know, she's not even in his district. Like, she's on coastal, and so she's just deciding, well, they're not putting a homeless shelter in Encinitas and Del Mar.
So we're
they're
going to
go stick it in Escondido. So, right, whole NIMBY, you know. So he's like, look, you know, work with us. Like, we're working on this right now. We want to be a part of the process, but that area that you're talking about is horrible. So it gets time for her to talk again. And she goes, wow, I'm so glad that a representative from Escondido, you know, Joel Anderson had to lean over and say, that's the mayor. He's the mayor of Escondido. She didn't even know who the mayor is. She's trying to stick him with this homeless shelter.
Well, sure.
In their backyard, not her backyard, not her precious taxpayers' backyard. And she doesn't even know who the mayor is after he introduced himself.
Amazing.
Anyway, where was I going with that?
I have no idea.
So Tara Lawson-Remer stinks. I think that's where I was going with that. But
dead silence. You had us on the edge of our seats. We were waiting.
Well, that's the big punchline. Is she didn't even know she's going to put this major homeless shelter in the middle of Escondido that's not even in her district without even talking to Escondido. And when the mayor of Escondido showed up to talk to her and introduces himself, she still didn't know who he was. Didn't care.
Well, she didn't. She
doesn't care.
That's the key.
Yeah,
that's the punchline.
I really think I got to say, if you live in Escondido, you know, Kevin Faulkner is running in the district next to you. If you live in Escondido, your county board your county board guy is Jim Desmond. But if you live in Escondido, you need to get involved with Kevin Faulkner's campaign. Mm-hmm. You need to get that guy elected because Tara Lawson-Remer is looking at sticking a homeless shelter right in the center of town, right where all the business district is and everything.
Right there on
Not for your homeless people, Escondido, but for all their undesirables,
right?
Encinitas and Cardiff and all the places that the rich people don't, they care about the homeless, but they don't want to help them unless they stick them in Escondido.
Well, did you see where Bill Wells from El Cajon, you know him?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, mayor of El Cajon, and he's running for Congress.
Yeah. Well, he just found out that they're going to drag all these immigrants that are coming in at Jocumba. They're taking them to El Cajon, and he knew nothing about it.
Oh, that's nice.
Just same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Going to just drop, I think, 800 of them, I think, without him knowing a thing.
Well, so we had our monthly meeting on Tuesday. It went really, really well. Dane was a guest speaker. He introduced a couple other people that are running for office. There's a huge opportunity to take over Escondido when it comes to making sure that Escondido's pro Second Amendment, which that's a city that it's a no-brainer. It's got to be pro Second Amendment. And then we had it at Poway Weapons and Gear. Another great meeting. A bunch of people came and had a lot of fun and ate some pizza and talked about some of the things that we talked about here on the show. And then, of course, Thursday was LaBella's Pizza. Another great meeting. Was run by Garrison. And by the way, for Tuesday's meeting at North County Shooting Center, big thank you to Elliot. Elliot is such a important part of San Diego County gun owners. There's nothing that guy won't do to help. I mean, he is just all over the place. You know Elliot, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Talk to Elliot all the time.
Yep.
Great
He's
guy.
the best.
Elliot
He's
is the best, man.
So big thanks to Elliot. Thanks to Garrison for doing the meeting down in South County as well. And then we had Desi also had a women's. Well, talk about what was it? Was it pepper spray?
So yeah, so for the Not Me women, we did a class on Thursday. It was about situational awareness and pepper spray, and so we packed in. I did not get an official head count, but I know the number of registrations and RSVPs was a little over 30.
Nice,
and the room was full.
Nice, and that was Thursday night.
It was Thursday night, and we have another class coming up this coming Thursday. Another women's class. This one is going to be. We're using the image-based decisional drill system from the Complete Combatant.
Yeah.
So it's taking some real life scenarios and kind of allowing the women in a safe environment to allow themselves to kind of think scenarios through, to have some role play. And it's when I first went to my first class as a student, and then I later became a trainer through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
you're a trainer for
Brian. Thank you, Brian. Brian's name was escaping me. So I went into it not knowing what to expect. I read up a little bit about it, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, if it was really going to be anything all that useful, if I was going to get much out of it. And it's a pretty amazing opportunity. Like we were kind of talking earlier, you can think things through, you can talk things through, but when that adrenaline goes and you get yourself put in that situation, now this is just role play in a safe place. However, it allows, you'll feel that there is a bit of an escalation, your adrenaline starts moving, and you're expected to make, really what it is you want to make one good first decision. And, sometimes when and when you have certain tools, you are going to go for sometimes the highest level of defense, and so it's a learning opportunity.
And Desi organized that through Not Me.
Organized through Not Me, correct? And I'll be running it.
And you're running it.
Yep.
How cool is that?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And then Saturday we had a couple of tabletops. Rick and again Elliot ran some tabletops, and they kicked butt and preached to the sinners there about the San Diego County gun owners and how they need to get involved. And then this morning we had Guns N' Moses. Alex Dovlevsky, who's runs Guns N' Moses, he's also a San Diego County gun owners board member. And I think we had like 20 people there today for Guns N' Moses. Guns N' Moses is a Jewish shooting group, and they're very, very practical. They're not there. It's not going to be a hobby. I mean, it may, but they're there to because they're actually in fear for their life. They think they're going to have to use a gun at some point in their life to defend themselves. So Guns N' Moses is particularly important, and a lot of interest since October. It was really, really interesting.
And you see a whole family show. You'll often get a husband, wife, and a older teen coming through there. Yeah. Yep.
I taught the rabbi's wife one time. It was fun. So there's so much going on. There is so much to do. USCCA, huge, valuable partner. San Diego County gun owners. I can't think of organizations, particularly political organizations, that have more going on than us. There's meetings, there's classes, there are tabletops, there are educational shoots. That's 1 week. It was 1 week of 1 month of the year. So I encourage you, to not just be a listener, not just be a member, but be a participant, because there's just so much going on. I really do think, we talk about, I think, Adam, you and I get frustrated sometimes when we talk about some of this crap that they introduce, but I really do feel like the future is brighter, as far as Second Amendment. I really do think we're headed towards a bright future. It's just we've hit there's going to be some growing pains. I don't know. What do you think? Am I wrong?
No, I think.
Am I delusional?
But I think the approach, kind of like with USCCA, how we do things too, is a better way to get people on board. One example, USCCA, we have a partnership nationally with 511 Tactical.
Yeah.
So it's something else people can check out. Free classes, literally free at 511 Tactical retail locations. Different topics that rotate through. But I see that's a good example. Just such a variety of people that are coming through there and just wanting to learn all this kind of stuff and get into it. And I think that's the way to do it, is educate people that on all these topics and make people safer like that.
Yep. Grow the community. I agree. We're community builders, Dave.
Yes, and
I'm a community organizer.
Yes, you are.
Just like Obama was.
No, you're not.
I'm going to run for president. I'm a community organizer. Adam's a community organizer.
You'd be a good president.
You think so?
Oh, hell yeah.
Are you just saying that? Is that hyperbole?
No, I'd vote for it. Yeah, it's hyperbole.
You'd vote for me?
Absolutely.
I don't think I'd be a good president.
You don't think so?
No.
Too short-tempered?
That's one of the many faults
You'd be stuffing people in trash cans. Is that what you're telling me?
Michael's first decree as president will be Denny's bring back the spaghetti now.
That's right.
Oh, I was waiting.
I was just saying, trying to follow.
We went almost the whole show.
We went. Oh, and we didn't mention food.
Stop talking about food.
Not even during a break.
I was going to say, follow that dude in Argentina, the new president.
I saw that at CPAC. Yeah,
that
dude, the speech he gave at CPAC was pretty, right? Is that right guy?
That guy's awesome.
What'd you like about him?
His first order of business was like cutting the government agencies in like a quarter.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. That'd be great.
Yeah, he's just going in and just destroying everything.
He'll never make it. So get ready for a gun show like no other. It's the San Diego Gun Show sponsored by USCCA. You can join us March 2nd and 3rd at the beautiful new venue, the Legacy Center in Mission Valley. There's so much to do and see. On top of the gun show, there's a BB gun range, the Gun Owner Symposium, a two-way movie night, can't tell you the movie, blood drive, a beer garden, kids safety classes, in-person classes, virtual firearm simulator, training deal, table, and a whole lot more. Get your tickets and details today at gunownersradio.com/gun show. It's the San Diego Gun Show sponsored by USCCA. Get tickets at gunownersradio.com/gun show, and you can even get a room. I think there's special packages, so if you're coming from out of town.
Well, or you just want to hang out down there.
Well, you're going to watch the movie.
Maybe I will get a room.
You should.
You want to split a room? We'll have a slumber party?
No.
Big spoon or little spoon?
No, I quit sleeping with Mid when I left the Army. Thank you very much.
We'll argue over who gets to wear the top of the PJs and who gets to wear the bottoms.
It's getting too deep here.
No, that got a little too real for you, Dave.
Because she's over here chuckling.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're still listening,
yes,
this is everybody's favorite segment. Stump.
Scared everybody off.
Stump my nephew. We found out years ago that my nephew Sam the Gunman, is extremely good at gun trivia. So if you write us and send us a cool gun trivia question, we use it on the air. We'll give you a hat or a shirt. And if you stump my nephew, we'll give you 2 hours at Phil's place, Shore Shot in Oceanside. So without further ado, Sam, you there?
Yeah, how are you guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Can't complain.
Adam from USCCA is going to read you the question.
Awesome. Great to have you in, Adam.
Thank you very much. So Chad from La Jolla asks, what is a CAV-X bullet?
Chad from La Jolla, thanks for writing in. I'm pretty sure La Jolla is a real place, or is he just messing with me?
No, that's a real money pit.
It's a real place, but it's not a city. It's actually a neighborhood of San Diego, the city.
It's a bougie beach town.
But it's bougie, so they actually got the post office back in the 90s to allow them to write La Jolla on the envelope.
Don't they have their own zip code?
They do, but that's not unusual. Like, neighborhoods have their own. But normally, like you don't write Pacific Beach, you write San Diego. Right. But La Jolla, you can actually write La Jolla because they're a bunch of.
Well, they have enough money to do that.
Yeah, they influenced. Anyway, little side note there for you.
And traffic sucks.
Yeah.
So bougie Chad from bougie La Jolla, thanks for writing in. What is a CAV-X bullet? Now, I may be misremembering this a little bit, but if I recall correctly, a CAV-X bullet is of a class of projectiles. There are multiple. It's like a brand name, but there are multiple other bullets like this designed to cavitate in soft tissue. So you'll see bullets designed for self-defense or for hunting that most of them tend to be hollow points or soft points, so that they expand to create that large permanent wound cavity and stop the threat if it's defensive ammunition, or take down the animal as quickly as possible if it's hunting ammunition. But you'll see some stuff out there that is solid copper and has sort of these concave surfaces on the front of the bullet, on the ogive itself, that are designed to promote wounding just through hydrostatic effects.
Adam, did you get it?
Looks about right.
You want to read the? We're going to read the given answer.
The official answer. It says the CAV-X bullet from DSG is a super cavitating bullet designed to be used in water. Normal bullets lose lethality and stop after traveling a couple feet in water. That's why diving into a pool may be a sound defensive strategy when escaping assassins. All right. People are doing that. The CAV-X bullet from Norway retains accuracy and lethality up to 60 yards or 200 feet underwater, opening up mission capabilities. Geometry of the bullet features a sharp lip that creates an air bubble that vastly reduces skin friction drag.
Skin friction drag. I was particularly impressed that you got cavitating in there because that was actually included in the answer. We were just talking about how we didn't know what super cavitating means. I don't know if super cavitating is a word. Cavitating is, but I don't know.
It is, yeah. Super cavitating. I have heard of it. So there you have
super cavitating expialidocious.
It's actually cavitating, or it's creating that effect in a fluid before it even hits a target. So it's able to travel through an air bubble.
Oh, super cav. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Don't laugh at me, Dave.
I can't help it.
So, let me tell you a funny story about your dad and my dad, Sam, is they were at a gun show years ago, and there was a guy selling bullets. And they were like the kind of projectiles that they were kind of like frangibles, they break apart and they end up, a lot of little pieces.
I know this story. Go ahead.
And the guy said, yeah, when you, the guy said that they were particularly lethal because they do that. And it's hard to, it's hard to survive that. And your dad turned to my dad and said, "Hey, Hank, you're a doctor. Would it be really hard to get those little pieces out of somebody?" And my dad, without skipping a beat, said, "You mean at the autopsy?" So I don't remember if that resulted in a sale, but he should, they should be a commercial.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, my friend, good job. Fantastic. You did really well, as always. Do you have a blog that you like to?
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit late with this one going up, but it should be up soon. It's talking about something that I'm sure you guys have all heard about what's gone down in Hawaii recently, right?
Which part?
The spirit of aloha.
Yeah. Yes, in the decision in Hawaii, right?
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I talk a little bit about that, but I'm really curious to hear your perspective on it because I've read all the crap put out by the usual suspects online, the usual 2A pundits, and it's like the same thing they always write. But what do you think about it?
I don't know enough about it. I just kind of heard that part of the decision, part of the actual written decision, is that they were they used the phrase "spirit of aloha," and that in Hawaii there's this spirit of aloha. Therefore,
say what I gathered, Sam, if I'm right, that the concealed carry and carrying a dangerous weapon violates the spirit of aloha, so they're not going to allow it.
It's weird. They do say that explicitly in the ruling. I skimmed through it and I read the most salient parts in greater detail, but it's funny because, as admittedly I'm not a lawyer and I didn't even stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, but a lot of the other legal reasoning in there seems fairly sound. Like, I disagree with it. I think it's wrong, but it's not like egregious. So I don't get why they even had to cite that. It makes no sense to me. It's just completely unnecessary. It's stupid.
Yeah, I'm going to say that a higher court is not going to take into account the spirit of aloha, and whatever judge wrote that is dumb. That's what I'm going to. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that.
Isn't that kind of weird to put that in like an official thing?
Well, you know what else? So you have our governor making fun of Benitez, Judge Benitez, for comparing an AR to a Swiss Army knife, which was actually a very good comparison with the point he was trying to make. And then this guy's talking about how carrying a gun violates the spirit of aloha. I mean, where are you now, Gav? Governor Gav.
Is that like you said earlier, though? People are grasping at straws for some of this stuff?
I really totally grasping at straws. I really think that's the good news. All these ridiculous laws where they're with having to do with insurance, registries, and decisions that say spirit of aloha, I really do think it's, even though it's bad news right now, it's good news that it's so ridiculous. So it's in your blog. You're writing about that, Sam?
It is, yeah. It should be up soon. But we can debate with anti-gunners about, what forms of gun control actually do. Do they save lives? Don't they? That's a thing we can debate, and we all have our opinion on it. We can debate things like, how to interpret various specific aspects of the Constitution. But what I didn't think was a matter of legal debate or of legal consideration was things that aren't even court decisions or in the Constitution. Like, why does that override Bruin? I don't get it.
Well, and I'd also argue that if you're carrying a gun and have to pull it for, then whoever you're pulling it against has really violated the spirit of aloha. So, anyway. All right, cool. Go to sdcgo.org/blog. Check out Sam's latest blog. Is it up already or does it go up tomorrow?
It should be up already.
It's up already, so check it out. Sam, thank you so much. You all, as always, do an awesome job, and congratulations on getting that right and using the word cavitating without even being prompted.
Well, hey, thanks for having me on, as always, and everyone listening, have a good night.
Thanks,
All
Sam.
right, buddy. You're the best. Thanks. All right. Well, hey, folks, you need to like and subscribe our show, share it with a friend, leave a comment, and please support all our great sponsors: San Diego County Gun Owners, Orange County Gun Owners, Inland Empire Gun Owners, the Dillon Law Group, Sage Tree, San Diego Flight Training International, Firearms Legal Protection, and thanks to Alicia, Michael Schwartz, Sam the Gunman, Matthew Dominguez, and Brendan Thomas. And we're really happy to have Adam in.
Yeah,
We'll
for
see
USCCA.
you,
What should people do if they want to join USCCA? What do you recommend?
Definitely get a hold of me directly, especially members of San Diego County Gun Owners. Give even a discount on the USCCA membership, and get a hold of me directly. Adam.B as in Bravo at deltadefense.com. My cell phone 619-663-4858. And come out to the gun show next week.
I was going to say, just come to the gun show.
Come to the
Sign
gun
up.
show. Yeah, if you're not a member, come join the USCCA at the gun show. Check out all the classes. Check out everything we got going on. It's going to be a good time.
Yep. He'll even buy you a beer.
Hey.
Right here on Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The Answer. Thanks for watching this episode from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns and the Second Amendment. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just do a search for Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Don't forget to support our sponsors. Click on the links in the show notes and support the businesses that support your Second Amendment rights. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.